Hey, welcome right back. This is Erica on 94.3 Radio 1, One World Your Station. Let's get one with indie. You know, we support original music performed by Indian talent. This week, the chosen project is actually an EP called Magic and Pasta. I love that name. It's from Paradigm Records, and we've got the curators Jay Rana joining us. There's Skopos and there's Mayank, who supplies the vocals on the track that's going to be played out. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's good to be
It's
here.
a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Erica.
All right, so let's get to know you guys better. I want your stories. Let's start with you, Jay.
Yes. So basically, I've been a producer for 7 to 8 years now. I initially started as a duo called Jay Rana and Malik, and it was only in 2019 that I got signed up with Paradigm Records, and then last itself the duo got disbanded and I started out solo. So here we are.
Okay, good to have you with us. Now, moving on to Skopos. And I'm guessing I got that name right.
Yeah, of course, you got it right. Thank you for pronouncing it right. It's always a pleasure to hear that name in the right fashion, right? So yeah, so basically, what Skopos? My real name is Lakshay, and Lakshay means aim, and Skopos means aim in Greek. So that's how I correlated. My dad actually correlated the name for me. So and yeah, I've been making music for the past like 5 years or so. I started out as a DJ, and then I really wanted to pursue my passion of making music. Since like a kid, I've been like following and making playlists and all. So that's it. Like it just blended in, like you could say.
Right, right. So both of you are in the music production space, and joining us is Mayank, who supplies the vocals to the track that's coming up from your EP called Taste Me. Hi, Mayank. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So yeah, my story. It's an interesting story, I would say. So I've been recently got into music like 2 years back and formed a band which is called Kapao, and we've been doing shows, writing music, our own music, and I've been with friends with Jay for a very long time now. Back when I started the band, he supported the band, and he's been a great um, hype guy for me, promoting me, helping me. So last year when Jay came up to me with this idea of a song, write a song which is the right amount of sultry and sexy, and I was like, interesting idea, because I have earlier also written a song similar on similar lines, but I had to pull back. And
Right.
here Jay comes and he's like, you have complete freedom, go nuts over it. And I was like, I'll take that chance and run with it. So that's how we came up with Taste Me, and then I've met Lakshay, and with Lakshay the good thing was we vibed. The first time we met, we just vibed, and we were in the same space. So we started bouncing ideas off of each other and coming up with new ad libs and things like that. So it just was a natural process for all three of us.
Right. I love when ad libs turn into mad libs. I mean, that's cool. I have to talk about your hair, though. I mean, I know that
Oh, thank you
we're
so
all
much.
in a kind of a lockdown situation. Is that although you're like your lockdown locks, so to speak?
Not really. I've been when I got into music, I experienced a sudden freedom in all aspects of my life. So hair was one thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna grow it out. I haven't been I haven't had long hair in 22 years now. So this is the time. So I just started growing out my hair. People started loving the look, and now they actually when I'm on stage, I had to open my hair. It's a whole theatric thing that I do. So yeah, I'm just incorporating every aspect of my life into the stage life as well.
That is fantastic. It's like 360-degree creative. Um, okay, now let's be honest, guys. You're from Delhi. We all know what Delhi is going through at the moment. How are you handling the situation as people from the music tribe, and also personally? I'm going to ask Jay to jump in on this.
Well, for someone who just recovered from COVID a couple of days back, I mean, I think I was just lucky enough to be in the situation where where I am right now. And given the current circumstances, yes, obviously making music and developing the other aspects of it was a little challenging for us. A part of me obviously felt a little guilty about the fact that what, maybe this might not be the best time to put out some music. But then again, at the same time, this is what we've been working for over a year now. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to do. um, the entire process for Magic and Pasta started out with the idea to give out people something, so that they can actually, the entire idea was to bring some sort of joy and happiness and some sort of motivation to people's life, especially during a time like this. So even though if it was a very conflicting thought in my head, eventually we just went ahead and decided to release it. And I think, looking at it now, I think people needed this EP more than ever.
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more, because we're always looking for, because we all know what's going on about us, and we really need
Yeah,
some kind of release. And your peg is that music is all about emotion, isn't it?
exactly, exactly.
Right.
All right. Skopos, let's come to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing this. It's a pretty bad situation out there. So, like, the best way to deal with it is to stay home and stay safe, of course, and follow all the precautions even at home. You should not, just take it easy, because it's literally a mess out there. I literally go out to the market and I see literally it's still a mess. It's not proper. And the best way how I cope up with this is through music. Like, that is one solace. Exactly as Jay mentioned, it's one of the biggest solace you can ever have. Like, just close your eyes. If you have nothing to do, just close your eyes and just either listen to music. Even you don't have to make music. That's just your best, escape. It's kind of an escape from your reality, but it gives you, that driving force to like, stay put. It gives you that driving force. So yeah, I mean, music is taking, it's actually helping us. It's like it's like a therapy. It's like literally a therapy for me.
Mayank, for someone like you who loves to perform, I can see you're a performer and you obviously love an audience. It would have been challenging to kind of be indoors, and go through lockdown after lockdown. How have you coped as an artist?
I mean, yeah, it was really challenging because, like, more than making music and, like, sitting back home and writing and composing music, performing on stage just, like, stays on another level for me. So when lockdown happened, like, I was actually, planning a huge India tour, and so it all got cancelled, and I was like, this is gonna hurt me for a very long time. But yeah, looking on the upside, during the lockdown I kind of got the chance to explore another aspect of my music, I would say. So, like, I got into songwriting a lot more. I explored Hindi as a language of songwriting. So yeah, like, and since we weren't able, like, all the band members and all, we weren't able to like meet and band and jam and perform anything like that. So we just started, like, working on other aspects of our business, like, like growing our social media or learning about music business in general, getting into marketing more. And like, I started collaborating with more musicians during this time. So Jay and Lakshay came into picture. I collaborated with other artists. So that's how, like, I'm coping up with it. Like, I cannot perform, but I can make music. So that's what I'm doing.
That's perfect. Let's talk about the EP, Magic and Pasta. I believe there's like an Italian inspiration there somewhere. Do you want to take it, Jay?
Sure. Okay, so this is somewhere around last year, when Skopos and I got together. We decided that initially we had no plans for the EP. We just wanted to, get together and, make something together. And initially the idea just escalated into an EP. And this one night, Skopos and I were on call, and we were deciding, what to name the EP. I mean, we came with the idea of it, and, but what should be the title behind it. And I don't know, Scopus was just, randomly going through the internet and everything. And he just, I don't know, after, I don't know, I mean, after like maybe 50, 60 names that we, just threw it in the garbage, Scopus came to me and he's like, how does Magic and Pasta sound to you? I'm like, what's that? And he's like, Magic and Pasta. And instantly, there was just like a smile on my face. I'm like, actually, it's not bad. I mean, Magic and Pasta, I like it. And and I think this is something which I haven't said out loud, but at that point, even when the lockdown started, I was obsessively making pastas at home. I don't know why. I don't know why. So at that moment, it just clicked with me. And I was like, what, this is actually good. And, given the current circumstances, people can use a little bit of magic and a little bit of pasta. So maybe why not? And, this is what we're actually trying to deliver. So I think that's how we came up with the name Magic and Pasta, and I think it just it just seemed to fit well with the entire idea of the EP. So
That is so true. I mean, we so need a little bit of magic in our lives right now. And of course, pasta is the perfect comfort food. I have to agree.
it
Well,
is, it is.
I was listening to the single. I haven't had a chance to listen to the EP at all, but the single I have, very kind of lo-fi. I love the jazz influences in it. It takes me back to a whole bunch of these lo-fi artists. I mean, I don't know if in hip hop, there's Bishop Nehru. I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely love him, and I was so excited by what I was hearing. So, talk to us about putting this one together. I mean, the influences coming together. Let's start with you, Laksh. Let's have you start this off.
So, regarding the influences, I mean, pretty much my music influence is classic rock and jazz. Like I've been listening to music from 50s, 60s, 70s from like when I was in school. So that's been one of my greatest influence. Even though like being very honest, I cannot play an instrument proficiently, but that when you hear that sound, it just kicks like that old analog sound. It just kicks you. So that's always been in my in my pipeline that I have to make something that takes me to my roots. So that's why I told Jay that, bro, you send me like amazing lo-fi demos. I'd like to just add some of my influence to it. Like I have a really drum heavy and jazz heavy influence, sonic wise and drums wise, as I mentioned. So I just told him, just let me do a little, let me just try to work around it. And then when I sent him the demo back, he was like, bro, let's just get a vocalist on it. And then he had the vocalist in mind also. He had Mayank in mind. He just literally made a song similar to this vibe, and I don't think anybody else would fit perfectly for this. So
So,
yeah.
Mayank, I have to talk about
Yeah.
that sexy wail of yours. Oh my goodness! Can you wail? Loving it, absolutely loving it. So, talk to us about being part of this whole collaboration, especially on the song.
Yeah, so I mean, like I am given a chance to write such music. Like like I said, I just take it and run. So, and it was coming from Jay, like who has been with me for like throughout my entire journey as a young musician. So I was like, man, this is like I have to write something which which ups the standard which I have written before. Like it has to be something which goes beyond that. So I took my time, honestly. Like I took my time, and I'm a, like Jay would add to this, and I'm a very hard person to get on calls and messages. Like I just go into my cave and just work out. So yeah, so like it was very difficult, and I took my time writing it, composing it, and coming up with melodies and things like that. But when I did, like everything got fit together, because I'm a like Lakshay, that's why we vibe, because I'm a huge rock influence and funk influence person, like MJ, Queen, Beatles, all of that. So I've been growing up listening to that music. So I just took all of that and tried to infuse all of that into my writing, into my singing as much as possible. And I sent the first draft to these guys, and they were happy. Like nothing came back. They weren't like we want to change this or change that. They were like, okay, this is gonna work. And that was such a relief as a songwriter. Okay, nobody's changing my writing. They like it.
Yeah, of course. And then follows the creative for the video. So now, whose idea was that? Or was it like
Uh,
a combination of all you guys, little naughty dreams?
mo- mostly, I think mostly for the video, it was so initially when Apram from Paradigm heard the entire songs when the songs were done and when the final production was done. So we guys were deciding like for which song should we make the video music upon and everything. And I think all of us just spontaneously picked Taste Me, and we were just like I think Taste Me might be the ideal choice for the music video. And I think we tried to come up with some ideas about the video, like how do you want to play this out and everything. And I think I told Apram, since I do also have some experience with making movies and everything, so I was like, what, let me just see what I can come up with. And my basic idea was pretty much the same as it was for the EP. I mean, we wanted to keep it simple, very straightforward, and I mean, sure. At this point, people can use a little straightforward, and I was like, let's just keep it like that, and see where this goes. And then Apram and I had a little back and forth on that one. We had exchanged a lot of ideas with this one, and then finally we settled for the final production of Taste Me. So what you see is the final settlement. So
So I
this is
would I
how.
would like to add something to it. So I remember, like, after all of this was penned down, Jay, like, got Lakshay and I into the loop, and like we started, like, coming up with ideas. Okay, this scenario might work, this scenario might work, and then, like, again, we were in a pandemic, so we were like, okay, this cannot happen right now, this cannot happen right now. We have to make something which, which is doable, but also does justice to what we have in our like, mind as a vision. So then, like, we all three of us kind of like came up with different scenarios, different locations, all of those things. But yeah, like, just wanted to add this. Pandemic
Yeah.
was one of the considerations that we had to take into account.
Oh, definitely. I think because of the pandemic, I think a lot of things, were like challenging for us, especially for the venues and especially for finding, people who are actually willing to work with us, especially during a time like this. But I think we really, really got lucky that, we reached out to the people, and in the first go, they were just on board with this. And I think we just got really lucky with the entire process.
Right. So here you are, and we are so good to hear it. I'm going to hand it over to you. One of you take over and introduce the song to my Radio 1 listener. Let's go with you, Skopos.
Hi, I'm Skopos, and my brand new track is playing on this station. Thanks 94.3 Radio 1 for, like supporting local talent. And hear my new song, Taste Me, from the album Magic and Pasta. Hope you enjoy it.
All right. I got to say thank you so much for joining us today and getting one with Indie on 94.3 Radio 1. Thank you to you, Jay, and to you, Skopos, and to you, Mayank, with the long hair. Love
So
your hair.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Thank you,
us.
Erica.